everybody, I'm Sandy Moretto, one of the owner directors of the UK Alliance of Wedding Planners. I've also been a wedding planner for the last 15 years, running my own small independent business. So today I wanted to spend some time talking about putting together your timeline or project plan, whatever you choose to call it, for your full planning clients. I know particularly, well certainly from my own experience, when I got my first full planning job, I was super excited and had already been doing lots of work that I probably shouldn't have been doing already because I was just so excited and hadn't yet been paid, but was. And it's really, and I've learned over the years, it's really important working carefully on your timeline. So yes, when you get that first client and you're only working on one wedding, it's relatively easy and you're putting your life and soul into it and you want everything to be perfect and you don't tend to mind if you're up at midnight doing it. When later down the line you're potentially working on, let's say, up to 10 weddings for one season, it can be a little bit different and it can get quite confusing working on all of those weddings simultaneously. So when you're putting together your timeline, what are the things to think about? Well, firstly, although you're not saying this to each individual client, you need to think about all the other weddings that you've got going on over that period. So if you have 3 weddings going on in June, then think carefully about how many meetings and how many decisions you can have on the timeline for X client whose wedding, let's say, is in September, when you know that you've got 3 weddings in June which are going to be taking up a huge amount of your time. Another thing to think about, of course, is holidays, both yours and your clients. So making sure that you don't build in any decisions or any meetings in periods when you or they are away. Also, I would think carefully about decisions beyond which you cannot move without clients having made them. So I'm talking about simple things here, like you cannot send out your invitations until you know where the venue is. So thinking about things like that and making it very clear to your clients from the outset when those really key decisions need to be made by. I myself, and I know many other planners, have had lots of problems over the years, not with clients who are trying to be difficult, but simply with clients who get very busy and cannot make those key decisions, which renders us incapable of actually doing anything to help them, because I cannot decide their venue for them. I can take them to lots and lots of different ones which, you know, meet their criteria, but I cannot make that decision for them. Ditto, I cannot decide on their guest list. I've even had that on one occasion, you know, that if you can't come up with a guest list, I can't send the invitations out. So the basics like that. And the more that your client knows, the more you have managed their expectations, the much more likely it is that your whole timeline will work for both you and them. Also, I would say it's quite important to keep all of your timelines the same. I have the same setup for both online and in a big old clunky lever arch file in my case for each of my clients, so that I know that if I am working on, let's say, Sally and James's wedding and Fiona and Philip ring up, and my head is not in the right space at all, it's very easy for me literally to grab that file, open it and find the timeline exactly where they are in every single file and say, right, Fiona, yes, okay, let's talk about such and such. I think also it's a really important point is that when you are working with lots of different clients, you do tend to get some who get, again, uber excited themselves. Why wouldn't they? It's their wedding, they're doing their planning, they see something and they want to ring you and tell you all about it. And that's absolutely great, but you do need to be working on other people's weddings, but also probably on your own accounts, your own marketing, doing your social media and all the other lovely things that we as business owners have to do. So having a timeline that you've gone through and agreed with each client makes it very easy for you to say to, let's say, Fiona, when she rings up, ever so excited because she's seen the most beautiful flowers and she must have this florist and etc, etc. You can very simply say, yes, that's absolutely marvellous, you know, pop it on a Pinterest board, send me some pictures, If you refer to the timeline, actually we're looking at flowers in June. So, we'll be meeting with that person then, and that just sort of diffuses the situation, calms the client down. They know that you have taken on board that they love these flowers, but you can actually go back to doing your counts or whatever it was that you had scheduled in for Tuesday morning, for example. So I hope that's a few ideas on putting together and working with your timelines and your clients. I hope that's been helpful. If you're not following us already, please do follow us on social media or subscribe to our blog. If on social media you use hashtag UKAWP, we can find you more easily and interact with you. Thank you very much.